but the bullpen's been even better, 0.73. So if they keep the game close, the pitchers usually hold the opposition down, and that spells a winning formula for the Yankees so far following the break.
Well, can they make it 2 sweeps in a row? First the Tigers, now would be the Orioles looking for the sweep right now. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next, right here on Yes. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV. Yankee Stadium filling up for this Wednesday matinee. And let's take a look at the Orioles starting lineup, brought to you by BMW, and it'll face A.J. Burnett. Orioles are 11 games under 500, and they lead off Brian Roberts, the second baseman, hitting 500 this series. Adam Jones in center, Nick Markakis in right. Middle of the order, Aubrey Huff at first, Ty Wigginton is the third baseman, Luke Stott the DH. And then batting seventh is Greg Zaun, he'll catch. Felix P.A. in left field will bat eighth. Batting ninth and playing shortstop, Robert Andino.
A.J. Burnett on the mound. He's been pitching very well of late, and you can see his record. This will be his 19th start. 8-4 record, 3.81. 3.81 ERA at home, 3.81 ERA on the road. Here's our G pitcher scouting report. I told you he's been pitching very well. Last 9 starts, a 2.28 ERA. 8 wins and 1 losses. That's his 1 loss. That's his career record against the Baltimore Orioles and left-handed batters. Not doing very well against A.J. this year. Just hitting .227.
Yankees looking for their 6th win in a row. A long homestand to open up the second half. They swept the Tigers. Now looking to sweep the Orioles, and then a 4-game set finishes up the homestand against the Oakland Athletics. And the Yankees, as we showed you earlier, they have moved into a first place situation in the American Leagues, a game ahead of the Boston Red Sox. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. HD is free with IOTV, the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Roberts is ready. A.J. Burnett is ready. Let's do it here in the Bronx. Burnett deals upstairs 1-0. We are underway. Roberts with a 7-game hitting streak.
One thing to look for from A.J. Burnett is his breaking ball. When it's really working well, it's one of the best in the game. And it's very difficult for left-handed hitters to get to. They usually have that swing and miss pitch down and in against his breaking ball.
Foul away. Let's look at the game time weather conditions presented by Bigelow Tea. Right now it's very nice. And the forecast is for warm and sunny, 78 degrees, 62% humidity, not much wind at all. Foul back.
You know, Michael, before the game, I got the sense that you were really fired up today.
Oh, yeah.
Coming into you're ready for this afternoon's game.
Absolutely.
Was there something special about this?
It's the sunlight, you know?
Oh, okay.
The photosynthesis, that's what's doing it for me. And the 2-2. Strike three. Roberts down looking.
Smoke over the inside corner. You can see the setup by Jorge Posada. All the pitches had been away until that last one, and the movement on the fastball is going to carry it towards the corner, at least close enough to it. And Brian Roberts called out on strikes.
So one away, and here's Adam Jones.
What's rubbing off on me?
Jones, the lone All-Star representative for the Orioles, hitting 300, 13 homers, 51 ribbies. And he lines that one into center field. Brett Gardner on the run, and he can't make the play. Adam Jones will stop at first, and the throw comes into Robinson Cano. So a shoestring attempt by Gardner. It could not get it done, so Jones on with a single. Let's look at the Yankee defense, brought to you by the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Damon, Gardner, and Swish are left to right in the outfield. Infield, Rodriguez, Jeter. Cano is having a great season at second. And Teixeira's at first. Posada behind the plate. And on the mound is A.J. Burnett.
Here's Gardner's attempt at that last catch. He did get some leather on it, but couldn't hold on. It looked to me like he got a little bit of a late break and then tried to use that great speed of his to make up the time, but almost made a tremendous play in center field.
Here's Nick Markakis, and that's grounded right to Teixeira. He goes to second to get one. That's all they get. He bobbled it for a moment, and that probably cost him any chance at a double play. But still, not many first basemen, Kenny, would have made that throw to second base.
You're exactly right, Michael, because once he bobbles, a lot of times you see a first baseman, they realize they have bobbled up and botched a chance for the double play. They'll take the safe out. But he decides to still go for the lead runner, knowing that he has a good throwing arm and an accurate one at that. He has the angle. He's already on the grass. Probably no double play, but it's throw right to the chest of Derek Jeter to take out Adam Jones at second.
And Kenny had to thread the needle over the left shoulder of Jones. If he is off by a little bit, he hits Jones in the back. Here's Aubrey Huff, and that's a fly ball to center field. Gardner is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the first inning. And A.J. Burnett retires the Orioles with just 8 pitches. This is a pretty good pitch from Mark Teixeira, threading the needle over Jones. Orioles nothing. Yankees. Leads off, batting second, playing left field, Johnny Damon. Mark Teixeira's at first, Hill at third. Cleaning up and playing third is Alex Rodriguez. Hideki Matsui back in the lineup as a DH. He'll bat fifth, batting sixth. Catching Jorge Posada. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, will bat seventh. Nick Swisher's in right. He's going to bat eighth. Boy, he has good numbers against the Orioles so far this year. And Brett Gardner with the start in center field will bat ninth.
25-year-old Jason Perkin on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles, part of their youth movement. On the pitching side, you can see his numbers. They aren't particularly good. He's got 1-7 record with a 6.44 ERA. He's learning on the job like a lot of their pitchers. Here's the Jeep Pitcher Scouting Report. He won his Major League debut May 26 against the Toronto Blue Jays. He hasn't won a game since. He's lost 7 straight. Left-handed batters, well, they've been hitting him pretty well. 339 batting average, and on the road his ERA has been pretty high, 10.26 road earned run average.
Well, he's on the road again here in the Bronx as Derek Jeter digs in. Line drive, left field. It is a base hit. It's going to get past PA and go to the wall. Derek Jeter will go to second with a leadoff double.
Well, Perkins been down this road before. Jeter is now hitting 21 of his last 24 games. First pitch right down the middle and scorched. This is headed for Gap City in left center. Felix PA is going to run it down as Jeter cuts himself a slice of a two-base hit into left center field. That ball was a solid line drive.
There's Johnny Damon. And the pitch outside from Birkin.
Yeah, Damon had slumped off a little bit, but he's quietly getting his game back together. He's hitting 4 straight games.
Take a look at the umpires in this game. Brian O'Nora is behind the plate. The crew chief, Gary Cedarstrom, at first. Adrian Johnson at second. And Jim Wolf is over at third. Line drive to right field. Markakis makes the catch. Jeter doesn't even try. That is respect for Markakis' arm. Let's take a look at the entire Orioles defensive schematic, brought to you by the new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. PA, Jones, and Markakis. Markakis with 10 outfield assists. In the infield, Wigginton, Andino, Robertson, Huff, third to first. Zahn behind the plate. And Birkin is on the mound. 2 outfield assists last night, 1 for Markakis and 1 for Jones. Here's Mark Teixeira. Down 1-0.
You can see the defensive setup against Teixeira. They've got the shift on, but that kind of helps Jeter out as far as getting a good jump off of second.
Line drive, center field. It is a base hit. Here comes Jones, and they will hold Jeter right there. So a base hit for Teixeira as Jeter moves to third. First and third, 1 out.
And you can see right here in the first inning that Birkin is not fooling anybody. 3 solid shots by the Yankee hitters, including this one by Mark Teixeira. In fact, he kind of cheated himself out of an RBI. Hit the ball so hard, almost directly at Adam Jones and straight away center field. Jeter can get as far as third, and that's it. Jones, like Markakis, has a very strong throwing arm. Jeter gets a good read right away. He knows it's a base hit. He knows where Jones is playing, but the ball's hit too hard for him to score. An all-star, Adam Jones, for the first time this year. Derek Jeter, a 10-time all-star. They were teammates just the other day.
Tuesday in St. Louis. Here's Alex Rodriguez. And the pitch. A strike from Birkin. The 0-1. Line drive, left field. That is a base hit. Cutting over is PA. Scoring is Jeter. Throw comes into third. RBI single for Alex Rodriguez. And the Yankees lead 1-0.
A-Rod with 2 runs batted in on a single last night. Gets the Yankees off and running in this particular ball game. Now has 27 runs batted in his last 23 games. This one's not over with yet, as the Yankees jump out in front here in the first inning. Oriole outfielders have been on the move in this first inning. Felix PA is going to gather up this line drive. It'll stop Teixeira at second, but it won't keep Jeter from scoring, and it's 1-0 Yankees.
Here's Matsui. Want a positive stat? Early afternoon, feeling good about life. The Yankees are 36-11 when they score first. And the Yankees are looking to go 20 games over 500 for the first time this season. We see what Matsui's done in July. Monday, Matsui was the hero. with the walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, only A-Rod has more home runs this month than Hideki. Hideki has 5, A-Rod has 7. So you're talking about the production last night for A-Rod. He's getting some production.
And the 2-0. Strike, 2-1. And the protection we're talking about, you need somebody behind A-Rod that's going to make the other team pay for walking A-Rod. So that means A-Rod would get more pitches to hit if the other team is concerned about the guy following him. And the Yankees have tried Posada back there, Matsui, and Cano. The 2-1.
By the way, for A-Rod, that was his 152nd career run batted in against Baltimore, the most that he's had against any team.
And that's tough to believe because for the first part of his career, he played with the Mariners and the Rangers, so he didn't see the Orioles all that much. Strike, count 3-2. Now the Yankees have 49 ribbies from the number 5 spot in the lineup, and that's fewer than any spot in the order other than the 8th and 9th spots. So they do have to pick it up in that number 5 hole, and Girardi's mixing and matching, trying to find the hot guy, the right guy, behind Rodriguez.
Well, in July, it's been Matsui.
3-2. Rolls over on that one and forces at second as Teixeira moves to third and Matsui reaches on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, Burkett made some good pitches to Matsui with his fastball. Hit the outside corner 3 different times. Got him to roll over for the force at second. Burkett did his collegiate pitching at Clemson University, but they didn't have hitters like this in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Posada takes inside. And a strike. One and two. And the 1-2 pitch is outside, 2-2.
Yeah, this afternoon, manager Dave Tremblay has decided to go with the veteran catcher Greg Zahn, who's made a pretty good career of backing up catchers around the league. Zahn was the starting catcher at the beginning of the year, but then when they called Matt Wieters up, they went with the youngster and the rookie who's got their future. But Zahn's a pretty good backup catcher. He knows this league. He's been around the division.
Blocked by Zahn in the count 3-2. So that's going to release Matsui at first, 3-2 and 2 outs. Teixeira will stay anchored at third. And Cano waits on deck.
Well, look at that backdrop. Look at it. Just packed house.
Runner goes, and the pitch outside. So the Yankees have loaded the bases here in the first inning. 1 run already in. It's time now for the G moment. And with Robinson Cano coming up, it makes perfect sense what that moment is.
Yeah, it was a hanging breaking ball last night from Rich Hill. That's the G moment from last night. Cano's 14th home run of the year. He and Swisher celebrate. And as we mentioned in our open, Cano hit 14 all of last season. So it appears he's on his way to, I don't want to jinx him, he's on his way to 15 homers.
I'll tell you what, Kenny, we always knew that Robinson Cano was a good hitter. Last year it was a little bit less than what he expects of himself. But I think that there's a legitimate chance this season for him to win a Gold Glove the way he's playing second base.
Yeah, I think it's more than legitimate. I know there's a lot of competition at that position. There's several very good second basemen. You've got Kinsler, you got Pedroia, and several others, around the league.
Polanco.
Yeah, Polanco's excellent. Polanco's got a better percentage than Cano right now, but I think Cano has much more range than Polanco.
Foul back.
Let's see what Rick Kranitz, pitching coach, had to impart to his youngster on the mound, Jason Birkin, who has thrown 21 pitches here in the first inning.
Grounded foul. So the count 0-2. Birkin's already thrown 22 pitches.
Almost immediately, he's going to have to pull a page out of the book of David Hernandez, who threw in the more pitches in the first inning in the opening game of the series and kind of lasted into the game that the Yankees won on the walk-off by Matsui.
Fly ball down the left field line. Felix P.A. toward the line. Leaps. Can't make the play, but it's a foul ball.
PA with the all-out effort, though. You got to give him an A for effort as he tried to reach into the seats and make the catch. PA hasn't played very often for Baltimore. In fact, he last started on July the 1st. He's almost like the forgotten man, but there's the all-out effort to try and make this play. He came a lot closer than I thought he would.
Kind of gave a look toward the fans, and they didn't touch the ball. I mean, the fan got hit on the arm with the ball, but by then PA had missed it.
And that was an Bartman situation.
The 0-2 chopped slowly over the head of Birkin. Everybody's safe. It's 2-0 Yankees.
Well, we'll see how they score this one. Here's a little chopper. Once it got past Birkin, then it started to get interesting. Posada crosses in front of Brian Roberts, who can't handle it. Now, because Birkin didn't field it, it put a lot of pressure on Roberts to come up with it cleanly and then make an accurate throw quickly. And he doesn't come up with it. This is going to go as a hit and a run batted in. So Cano, who's hitting 348 in July, that average is going to go up a few points, and the Yankees score another run.
Here's Nick Swisher with the bases loaded. And the count 1-0.
Well, the Yankees have hit the ball hard this inning, but one of the softer hits you're going to see, particularly from Robinson Cano, does the job, drives in a run.
Count 1-1. And the pitch. Count 2-1.
Talking to hitting coach Kevin Long about Swisher prior to the game. He says Swisher's just opening up a little bit too quick with his front shoulder. And the whole idea when you're doing that is try and hit the ball back where it came from, almost right to the middle. And it'll keep your shoulder tucked in there and make you follow the ball a little bit better to the plate and a little longer.
That one is lined into right center field. That is going to be a base hit. Cut off in the gap by Jones. 2-run score. Moving to third is Cano. It's a 2-run single for Swisher, and the Yankees lead 4-0.
Well, back through the middle pretty much so, and a solid line drive to right center field. Watch the front shoulder. Yeah, he keeps it in there nicely and gets into this breaking ball. Another solid hit this inning. Watch the shoulder turn and then fire the bat through the zone. And Nick Swisher drives in 2 runs. He's hit well against Baltimore this year, as Roberts will have no throw on the relay as Adamton. I believe the outfielder's been on the move. Jones and PA this inning. The Yankees have battered around.
Dave Tremblay trying to find something on that card to make him feel better about things. The scoreboard says 4-0 Yankees. Here's Brett Gardner as the Yankees have batted around. And there's a strike. Since June 27, Gardner in 17 games hitting 179. But 277 overall. What he has to learn, and he's a young player, and it's difficult. His playing time is somewhat truncated right now. He can play one day and not play for another 5. And you got to keep your swing down. That's tough.
Yeah, you got to work hard on the side. You got to work hard in the cage. One thing he's done all season long, he's hit pretty well with runners in scoring position. He's over 300, 302 with the runners in scoring position. That's an important number.
High pop up, right field. Markakis makes the play for the final out of the first. But the Yankees score 4 runs on 6 hits, and they lead 2. A.J. Burnett has himself a nice 4-0 lead after 1. It is 4-0 Yankees after they batted around in the first inning against Birkin, and now Burnett has some breathing room as we go to the second. Ty Wigginton, Luke Scott, and Greg Zahn against the Yankee right-hander. And the Yankee right-hander likes pitching against the Orioles, 8-1 and 10 starts in his career against Baltimore. Melvin Moore gets the day off as Ty Wigginton plays third and leads off here in the second. And there's a strike, 95 miles an hour from A.J. Burnett.
With some movement as well. He's got that fastball boring in on the it's a nasty breaking ball. But he's got that combination working, Michael, particularly to the righties. That fastball coming in this way and the breaking ball's going that way with some velocity.
And Wigginton down on strike. Second strikeout for A.J. Burnett. Well, you throw 95.
And you got a hook like that? Check out the scouting report on Luke Scott, who's been having himself a pretty good year for these Baltimore Orioles. 2008, he had a career high 23 home runs. This year, he leads the Orioles with 18, so that 23 career highs in jeopardy. but he's had a tough road trip. The Orioles started this trip in Chicago, and Luke is 1 for 16 on the trip. He's looking for his first hit in this series. He's 0 for 7 here in the Bronx. Good solid hitter, though.
Driven to right field and deep. Going back is Swisher looking, and it's off the wall. And Luke Scott will get himself a very long single. And almost gets picked off rounding first. Robinson Cano with a quick throw to Teixeira.
Well, Scott picks up his first hit of the series. Looked like a fastball down out over the plate and didn't miss a home run by much. Good play by Nick Swisher to get it in quickly, and Cano caught heads up. The Yankees not missing a trick to try and pick up an out, even on a line drive off the wall in right field. Watch Luke Scott. Turns. I don't know if he gets nonchalant or whatever. No, he's hustling. He just got back.
Here's Greg Zahn, line drive, base hit to right field. Luke Scott will stop at second. So Zahn with a single. Red Sox have just made a move, made a trade with the Pirates. They traded 2 prospects for Adam LaRoche of the Pirates. So LaRoche will join the Red Sox.
LaRoche, your first baseman.
It makes you wonder. Is Mike Lowell still bothered, really?
By the hit.
By the hit.
Yeah. So they could move Euclid to third, maybe permanently for a while.
So first and second for the O's, 1 out. And that'll bring up Felix P.A.
And Michael, I was talking about P.A. being the forgotten man. He started just 6 games since June the 1st. And he last started on July the 1st.
He's actually hit well when he does play. 16 for 50. That's good for 320. Got off to a slow start. So he's at 234.
At one time, he was one of the better thought of prospects in the Cubs farm system. Maybe the best.
Well, you supposedly can't miss. Snap throw to second. Getting back is Luke Scott.
Well, they're trying to get Scott at first. They're trying to get him at second. Watch Posada come firing out of this stance here, and this is a set play. You can see Jeter was at second base awaiting the throw.
You know, you take a look at Felix P.A. up at the plate, and Kenny just spoke the truth. This guy was so highly touted, and he was supposed to not be able to miss. That's how good he was. He was Cubs starting center fielder for years. Now, there have been a lot of rumors in baseball the last couple of days about people trading for Roy Halladay, and fans are up in arms. How could you trade young players for a guy like that? If you look at the players in the minor leagues that are thought of as the top 10 players in each system, and then figure out 5 years later how many of them even made the big leagues, let alone became stars, you know, the organization has to do a good shot of scouting itself, Kenny.
Yeah, it's true.
Because most prospects just don't make it.
That's very true. And sometimes there are guys you don't think that highly of that do come through.
Yep. Out of nowhere.
Yep. That don't get the accolades that some of the top prospects get. And you know, sometimes you can't decide what kind of heart determination a player has.
Two-one. Grounded in the hole. Backhanded by Jeter. Goes the second one. On to first. Not in time. Close, though, for a guy with speed.
Yeah, that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I didn't think Cano was going to even throw to first base, but he made it close on PA. Once Jeter had to go to his right on this ground ball, and with PA speed, I didn't think there was much chance to turn it a double play. He hits it fairly hard, though. Jeter has a little bit of a bobble as he decides to get it to second. You see that little hesitation. Cano comes up with it, delivers the first, but PA is across the bag by about a step. Going down the line, he knows he won't want to hit into a double play. Not hitting to enough on the no. Let's check the freeze cam. As you can see the ball approaching the glove, and PA is foot on the bag, so he is definitely safe.
Coors Light freeze cam showed that. And that'll bring up Robert Andino with 2 outs and runners on the corners. There's that breaking ball. And he checks the swing.
And Dino got a lot of playing time when Cesar Torres was on the disabled list while recovering from appendicitis. And then Dino held his own. Made some nice plays at short. But he's fallen back into a backup role with his Torres back in the lineup. Michael, we've talked about the Orioles' struggles on the mound. Sometimes their base running hasn't been the best this year. Their defense is pretty good, but one thing they can do, they can hit pretty well. That's one thing this Oriole team can do.
When we mentioned this on Monday, if you look up and down their lineup, everybody seems to hit over 320 with runners in scoring position, so they can score runs. There's a strike. Although with 2 outs, they don't get the job done. Baltimore scored only 31% of its runs this season. With 2 outs, that's the lowest percentage for any major league team. The American League average is 38%.
So these are the situations where they haven't done well. Other than that, they're pretty good with runners in scoring position. And as we've mentioned it many times before, the 2-out hits are the ones that really spur a ball club. They give you a lot of confidence that you're back in the ball game. There's Terry Crowley talking it over with Adam Jones. Jones already has a hit in this game. That's one of Crowley's prize pupils. Helped turn that young man into an all-star this year.
And the 2-2. Just fouled it off to stay alive. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. Grounded up the middle. Jeter is there, and they just get the force at second base to get out of the inning. A close play. PA was hustling, and Jeter just got it to Cano to get the force. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We played it. Our starting pitchers brought to you by Verizon Fios, over 100 HD channels and the fastest internet. This is Fios. This is Big Vin Mazzaro. Goes for the A's 2-6, 4.09, and CC Sabathia for the Yankees 9-6, 3.66. Our coverage starts at 6 with the batting practice show with Chris Sharon, 6:30. is the pregame at 7:07. His first pitch right here on Yes. 4-0. Yankees over the O's as we go to the bottom of the second, and Derek Jeter will start it off again. And Jeter swings at the first pitch and lines it to center, and Adam Jones right there, one away. Not at home for the game? Not a problem. Now Yankee fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and sign up for your subscription now. This is Johnny Damon is low 1-0.
Johnny made one of the 3 outs in the first inning, but it was a line drive to right field. Good changeup from Birkin. One way to get the hitters off your fastball is to get some swings and misses on a changeup.
Slap the other way.
You know, Michael, when you have Orioles have a young pitching staff. It's Birkin's first ever start against the Yankees. Certainly, pitching in a big ballpark in the Bronx, at Yankee Stadium, and this is all new to a lot of their young pitchers. So they're going to take some lumps as they start feeling their way through the major leagues.
Damon slaps one the other way. PA a long run into the corner, slides, and it's a foul ball. He's getting his running in.
Yeah, he is. So's Adam Jones. Markakis not quite as much so far. And to look at his ERA of 10.26 on the road, speaking of Birkin, as we watch PA sliding and try and make this catch on the ball in foul territory. You know, all these stadiums are new. All these cities are new to these young pitchers, and they got to get their feet on the ground.
Damon with a high fly ball to right field. Markakis, 2 outs. Ball fans, it's time for the Toyota text ball. Today's question is, with the trade deadline 10 days away, what move, if any, should the Yankees make? And the choices are, number 1, acquire a starter. Number 2, acquire a reliever. Number 3, acquire an impact bat. Number 4, acquire a defensive upgrade. Number 5 is make no move at all. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply. Now, we know that Brian Cashman watches the games on Yes, so he might actually take your advice.
How about staying in first place? That'd be a good move.
I'm sure that would be their preferred
That'd
move.
be the best move. You know, watching PA and how much he's been on the move in his first inning, it kind of reminds me of a game years ago in Chicago. White Sox just crushed us. And I was playing right field, and John Lowenstein was playing left field. I played right field. I think they beat us like 18-3, and I didn't get a ball in right field all day long. John Lowenstein was in the left field corner about 15 times chasing doubles. And his quote to the press was that the last time I spent so much time in the corner was my high school prom.
I guess when the White Sox did their scouting report, they said, well, where should we hit it? Singleton or Lowenstein? They said, well, let it be Lowenstein. Here's the 2-2. Missed outside, 3-2. Check swing right back to Birkin. So Birkin rebounds from a tough first inning to work a 1-2-3 second inning as the Yankees go down in order. We go to the top of the third. Yankees 4, Orioles nothing.
off to a good start today.
We go to the third inning on the Modell scoreboard. Yankees lead 4-0. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the New York Yankees. Yankees batted around in the first inning to score those 4 runs. Now back to the top of the order for the Orioles. Brian Roberts against A.J. Burnett. The Yankees announced the other day that Army was going to play Notre Dame here on November 20th of 2010. And today it was announced that Army's going to play 3 other games here at the stadium. In 2012 against Rutgers, 2014 against Air Force. No, check that. 2011 against Rutgers. That one is served down the left field line and foul. 2012 against Air Force and 2014 against BC. And we're lucky enough to have the Rutgers head coach, Greg Schiano, here in the booth with us today. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, you've got some history at Yankee Stadium, not this one, the one across the street, and I'll explain that in just a moment. The 1-1. Now, one of the more famous nights in the old Yankee Stadium history is when Reggie hit the 3 home runs. You were there.
I was 11 years old. Got to sit in the upper tier and watch it.
Now, how'd you get those seats? Were you a big Yankee fan?
Oh, yeah. Have been my whole life.
The 2-1. That one is driven to right field. Swisher is there, and he dropped the ball. He had it, and he dropped the ball as Brian Roberts will go to second with a 2-bagger. That should be an E9 because Swisher was there.
And it is going to be scored in there, and it appeared that Swisher had it all lined up, ready to make the play, and the ball glances off his glove, and of course Roberts was hustling. Give him credit. He's in the second. It's not a fun feeling when you're an outfielder. Looked like an easy play until Swisher couldn't come up with it.
Now we have a big-time coach in the booth, so I can ask you this, okay? I know coaches hate when a player makes a mental error, but when you make a blatant physical error, can you get mad at the player?
I'm afraid to say you can, Michael.
You know, Coach, as a former player, I don't blame you either. You know, Swisher's out there in right field. He wants to crawl into a hole right now if he could.
Here's Adam Jones. What does this mean for your program to play here, Coach?
Well, it's great. You know, we do so much recruiting in the New York metropolitan area, and to be able to play at a great venue like this is special.
And you do a lot of your recruiting from the Jersey area. There's such an unbelievable well of talent there, and that's one of the reasons you've been able to turn Rutgers around. You've kept some of those kids home. Without
a doubt. And, you know, you talk about New Jersey, New York, Long Island, Staten Island, all that area is a great football area.
The 1-1. Hit sharply and past a diving Cano into right field as Roberts will move to third.
Roberts had to hold up. He wasn't sure if Cano was going to catch the ball on a line drive, but this ball is going to elude him. As Adam Jones, who's now 2 for 2 in the game, one thing he's done to improve himself as a player has been able to hit the ball well to the opposite field. And this time he hits a rocket by Cano that puts runners on the corners with nobody out. Here's Roberts. Watch him hold up as the ball is hit. He sees that it gets through, and then he trots on over to third base.
Now, will this game in 2011, Coach, be a neutral site game, or will it be a home game for Army?
It'll be Army's home game, but you know, as you mentioned, with guys like Ray Rice and Courtney Green, New York guys that have played for us and made and really turned the program around, it's exciting just to be in here, even as the visitor.
There's Nick Markakis against A.J. Burnett, and the pitch is outside.
Yeah, Ray Rice making a name for himself as a pro running back.
Yeah, he's a great football player and an even better kid. So he's a young man now and doing a great job for the Ravens.
Now, what can we expect from Rutgers this year?
Well, we got a great group of guys that are working very hard, so that gives you a chance. And you know, we'll see how this team comes together in August. But we're excited.
First and third, nobody out. 4-0 Yankees, top of the third. Getting overcast here at the stadium. And that's a fly ball to left field. Johnny Damon toward the line, makes the play in foul territory, and for some reason Roberts does not tag, but Jones did, and he moves to second.
Yeah, I think he didn't tag because the fact that it wasn't all that deep. They're down by 4 runs, but Johnny Damon missed the cutoff man, and that enabled Adam Jones to move to second on the fly ball, which kind of takes away the double play possibility. Here it is. You can see that it's not all that deep. And with the Orioles down 4-0, Roberts is not going to attempt, but the throw goes all the way to the plate. And you can see Adam Jones going to second. You got to keep it low enough that it can be cut off, and maybe they could have thrown Jones out at second, or maybe he would have gone back to first, kept runners at first and third and one out. Good base running by Jones.
Let's take a look at Rutgers' schedule for the upcoming season. So you see those games there, Coach. Tell me the one you're scared about.
Well, there's only one that matters to me right now. We're opening up with the defending Big East champs in Cincinnati, so I think our players and our coaches got everybody's attention, and we're going to be ready.
The Big East has turned into a pretty good football conference.
You know, it really has. When this whole thing broke up in 03, people were concerned, but I think a bunch of coaches and programs committed to doing it the right way, and now every program in the league is on the upswing.
Coach, I have a question. When you have a big-time player come out like Ray Rice, and people see what he has done, or recruits have seen what he's done, does that make it easier for you to go out and say, well, I've had this running back, we think you can turn into another Ray Rice? Is it kind of what happens?
It really does, yeah. We have 25 guys active in the National Football League right now. And when we got there, I think we had 3 or 4. So it really has helped in recruiting to be able to tell them that. And that coupled with a great education, that's what young people are looking for.
The 1-0 to Huff. One other thing, and a lot of it lands on you. Rutgers was never a destination for these kids. Now they've got a coach who's been offered other big-time jobs, and you've decided to stay with Rutgers. So, I mean, that tells them that you believe in them.
Well, you're right, and it's easy during recruiting to tell them that. I know what you're going through because I went through the same thing, but there's great people at Rutgers in the state of New Jersey and New York metropolitan area who want this to work. So with the support, it is working.
You had an opportunity to go to Miami. That's a pretty big program.
Yeah, those are good places, but not as good as Rutgers is going to be.
9th year. Does it seem like 9 years?
It went by like a flash. Okay.
Last 4 seasons, 34-17. And they've been to ball games in their last 4 seasons. So Greg's done a great job there. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. He got him. Breaking ball. Diving down and in on the hands. Big strikeout for Burnett.
Yeah, one thing about A.J. Burnett, he can take things into his own hands. He's a strikeout pitcher. He led the league in strikeouts last year. So when they make a mistake defensively by allowing runners to move up a base, he can punch people out. And that is a tough pitch for any left-handed hitter. As Aubrey Huff is on his way back to the bench. Now there's 2 outs, and he's just 1 away from getting out of a major jam here in the 3rd inning.
Now, before the inning's over, you were here for Reggie's 3 home runs, Coach. Did you realize as an 11-year-old that you were watching something special, or you just shoving popcorn in your throat?
I did that too, but I realized it was special, and that whole stadium was rocking that night.
Ty Wigginton takes a strike. Yeah, here's a little memory lane for you, Coach.
Remember where you're sitting?
Yep, about 7 rows from the top in the left field line up there.
Well, Reggie didn't hit one in that direction.
No. Those were 3 first pitch homers, right?
Yes, they were.
3 different pitchers, too.
Unbelievable.
Not many guys hit him in those black seats out there.
The 0-1. It's funny, but Ian O'Connor of The Record, of 1050 ESPN Radio, and this is the way the new stadium football field will look. He asked Reggie, what's more difficult, Tom Watson winning the British Open at 59 or what you did? And he said, what I did was pretty tough. He said, but I think if Tom Watson had won, that would have been tougher. Which is pretty unbelievable for him to say. I think that 3 home runs in a World Series on the first pitch against 3 different pitchers is pretty tough.
Let's put it this way. Reggie at 59 couldn't hit 3 home runs. I know that for a fact.
If he played against 59-year-olds, he might.
I don't know. Michael, the bat speed's not there, the ball's not going that far, believe me. Unless they say Titleist on it. They are almost out of the woods here. They struck out Wigginton back in the 2nd inning. That was Burnett's 2nd strikeout. But Wigginton's still a dangerous hitter. He's been swinging the bat pretty well this last few weeks here for Baltimore.
2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Yankees up 4-0. Top of the 3rd inning here at Yankee Stadium. You have a new AD in Rutgers. How will that affect things?
He's great. He's a Rutgers guy. He and I have known each other since we were little kids. Tim Pernetti, doing a great job already, and he's got a great staff there with Kevin McConnell as his deputy. They do a great job. So it's a team effort over there.
Former broadcaster, right?
He is. He was involved with his whole professional career in TV.
Can't trust broadcasters.
He did our game, so he and I had a very definite understanding.
And the count 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees up by 4. And the number 5 hitter for the Orioles at the plate, Ty Wigginton. And the pitch. Upstairs. So now the count goes full.
He struck out Wigginton on a slider the first time, and that time he tried to pass him with a fastball. Be interesting to see what this next pitch is. Luke Scott's another hitter who's been swinging the bat well. I don't think you want to see Luke Scott. This is the man you want to get out.
Runners stay put on the 3-2 with 2 outs. Didn't like the sign that Posada gave, so he gets another one. Now time is called.
This is not good. Well, the key pitch like this, you want everything running smoothly. Now they're going to have to go over the signs again. So he hesitated on the first sign, which tells you he wasn't quite on the same page as Posada. You want him to have true conviction on this next pitch.
And the 3-2. Driven out toward right field. Nick Swisher on the run. And he makes the play. A little redemption for Nick Swisher as he takes an extra base hit away from Ty Wigginton. So he started the inning by dropping a ball. He ends the inning with an incredible running play off the bat of Ty Wigginton. Full body extension early, and he dropped the ball. And then to end the inning, he goes the other way, backhand, and he catches it. Let's take a couple of looks at what Nick Swisher did, Kenny.
Well, this is a heck of a play because this ball is slicing away from it. It's hit pretty well. Swisher full extension as Michael called it, then up the wall, maybe not a high five from a fan. But, boy, he is a piece of work. Hello, everybody.
Alex Rodriguez swings and misses. It's such a that's why baseball's so great. He completely botches a ball earlier and then gets redemption with that play, and he's all smiles. And he feels good about things because he got Burnett into the trouble, and then he gets Burnett out. And there's some of the residual as Nick Spikes punctured a hole in the padding out there in right field between the Sony and the newspaper sign out there.
Size 9, 10. Let's see. You can see this step here. I'll give it 11.
Modell's scoreboard, 4-0 Yankees. Modell's the official sporting goods retailer of the Yankees.
A-Rod had a good swing at a breaking ball in this at bat, and if Birkin misses, I think, with a breaking ball.
Birkin make the play, and underhands to Huff, one away.
I think nobody was more relieved than Swisher that he made that outstanding play to end the inning. After all, he's the one who painted Burnett into a corner, and to Burnett's credit, and he just bore down and struck out a tough hitter in Huff, a tough RBI man. Now Wigington did hit the ball well, but then it was up to Swisher to get the Yankees out of the inning, and he did.
Ground ball by Matsui, grabbed there by Roberts, and they're a two-way, so it's 6 in a row for Birkin. Hey, look who's in the crowd. Mike Greenberg of Mike and Mike in the Morning on every Monday through Friday on 1050 ESPN Radio. And his son Steve is right there. Mike just chilling. He has to go to afternoon games, Kenny, because he can't stay out late. He has to do the morning show.
Yeah, I'd imagine that he has to, gets up about 3 a.m.?
3 a.m., yeah. And then he's got a primp and everything because his hair has to look that way. Golick doesn't have that problem. The other half of Mike and Mike.
He's got the problem of getting up at 3 a.m.
That is a tough job.
Yeah, that is.
Anybody who does morning anything, that is a tough job. Any walk of life. Driven deep to right center field by Posada. See ya! Home run into the Yankee bullpen. 5-0 Bombers.
Well, for Posada, this is his 12th home run of the year. Fastball up, a little sinker, didn't sink enough, and Jorge knew it as soon as he touched it off. Man, quick swing through the zone, solid contact, lift off, and another run for the Yankees. And Posada's first home run since fireworks on July 4th.
Just chilling.
Phil Hughes got the ball.
Use the man. And he has the souvenir. It's funny how real estate changes things. I think A-Rod hit one into the visitors' bullpen the other day, and it just stayed there. Nobody picked it up. None of the relievers picked it up. Just lonely lying there on the mound.
The Orioles have had kind of a rough time of it here in the Bronx, but they move on to Boston tomorrow. That's when Yankee fans can start rooting for the Orioles the next 3 days.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. Rolls over on the ball and grounds it to Roberts, and that will do it as the Yankees go down in the third. But they score a run on 1 hit. And that 1 hit off the bat of Jorge Posada. His 12th home run of the year. Phil Hughes gets the souvenir. Stand by. It is time for the New York State Smokers Quitline Quiz. Ken Singleton, my buddy, and Mike Torres were traded by the Expos to the Orioles. For which 3 players? Now, Ken probably knows this, so he's disqualified, but you're not, as you can guess. And we'll give you the answer in the bottom of the 4th inning. We've been talking the last couple of days about Army's game against Notre Dame, November 20th. Of 2010, and today it was announced that they're going to play 3 other games here: 11 against Rutgers, 12 against Air Force, 14 against BC, as Luke Scott digs in. And we are honored to have the Army Athletic Director here, Kevin Anderson, and he joins us in the booth. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me, Michael.
How do you feel about playing these games here, and what is it going to mean to the program?
Well, you know, one of the things that we've talked about early on when I arrived at Army is that Army really, I feel, is America's team. Everywhere I go in the country, every place we play, we have a strong backing and support. So it makes sense for us to come and play in America's Stadium, because I just came back from the West Coast, and I can honestly say that I saw people walking around with hats that had NY on it. I didn't see people walking around with stars and D on it. So no disrespect to Mr. Jones, but I think this is America's team, as well as I like to say Army is.
Now, obviously, the ND game was announced a couple of days ago. Today, you announced the next 3 games. What's been the response from your alum and just people around?
Well, I could just tell you by sitting here, my cell phone has been ringing off the hook, text messages. What I understand, the phone's been ringing back at Army, and I told you earlier that it's a great day for me anytime we sell some tickets, and so people are very excited about this. You know, it all goes, you had my coach, my new coach on the other day, and so we already started drumming up support because people are excited what he's done in the past and what he could do in the future for us. And now announcing that we're going to play here, it just adds to the momentum.
And not only playing games, but playing against some good opponents too.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, we looked at it, the Yankees looked at it, and they weren't going to have us here if we weren't going to play strong people, and I mean regional people too, because you bring a Rutgers and a Boston College in here, and then the Air Force, you know, with its national presence. So very excited about this. And then there's, you know, what can you say, Notre Dame and Army here.
Now, you've played 38 games here at the old Yankee Stadium, 17, 17, and 4. For a while, it was discontinued. I don't know if the other stadium, after they refurbished it, was conducive to football. Why the return?
Well, one of the things is that the Yankees, Mark Holzman, approached me, and one of the things that, since I've been at Army, what we've talked about is restoring the tradition, the history of Army football. And recently, you know, I have to admit, we haven't been good. So one of the things in trying to restore this is bringing back what we did in the past and hoping we could build on it in the future. And Yankee Stadium is a big part of the success of Army football.
The 0-1. 0-2. Well, the win one for the Gipper game was here. I mean, there's been a lot of great football games at Yankee Stadium, and the way it's configured, the field is going to run end zone behind home plate all the way out to center field. There were some of the games played at the stadium. 1925 through 46, also played in 69. The Gipper game, and then the Notre Dame and Army scoreless tie in 1946. 4 Heisman Trophy winners in that game. You know, we asked your coach about this as well, Kevin. Why hasn't Army been good of late? Because you can't say it's Service Academy, because Air Force and Navy have been good. But everybody I talk to in college football say you have the right coach to turn this around now.
Well, one of the things I think happened in the recent past is we got away from what made Army successful football-wise. And if we look at what Navy and Air Force have done and the kind of systems they run, it's conducive to the kind of athletes that we have coming there, and that we've gone back to that. But there's no one that we could have hired out there other than Rich Ellerson, who has perfected this. I mean, he worked with Paul Johnson in Hawaii. He and Paul talk about it. You know, what Paul's done, not only at Navy, but Georgia Tech. I'll tell you, what Paul Johnson did at Georgia Tech this year when they came back at halftime and beat Georgia running that offense, and we'll be running something similar. Plus, Coach was able to bring and establish a defense at Arizona when he did Desert Swarm. So not only does he have the expertise on the offensive side, but also the decent defensive side, and he's brought in a great coaching staff.
See, Greg Zahn just strikes out for the first out of the 4th inning. Yankees are leading 5-0. Let's take a look at the 1928 Notre Dame Army game at Yankee Stadium. The cadets marching into the stadium. Just looks great. The subway going by. And although I think that when this game is televised, Kevin, it's going to be in black. It's going to actually be in color.
Yeah. We're not going back that far.
Look, you don't run offense like that very much.
Well, that might be back in the playbook now.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird because you had an excellent coach at Army in Bobby Ross, but Bobby Ross kind of ran an offense that it was hard for you guys to get that type of athlete in.
Exactly. I mean, we were running a pro set, and pro offense, and I'll tell you what used to drive me nuts. And I did tell coaches a couple times, there used to be a stretch play, and the only thing that stretched was our offensive line into our backfield. I mean, we just didn't have the kids that could hold the blocks and the running backs who could hit the hole as fast as you need to do this. And so, again, you know, like you said, Navy and Air Force, what they've done with their offense, and we're going to be similar to that, where you don't have to have the big 300-pound kids. You have kids. It's all predicated on quickness and speed.
And precision and discipline is what Army's all about, so that helps. Here's Felix P.A., count 2-0. Runner on first base. Luke Scott started the inning with a walk. And there's a fly ball to center field. Gardner is there, and he'll make the play for the second out. Kevin, you think you'll be able to sell out the ballpark?
Oh, no question. Particularly that first game against Notre Dame. I mean, we probably could have sold tickets yesterday when we made the announcement on Monday. And I mean, we could be there. So there's no question with that Notre Dame game. It's a matter of will we have enough tickets to satisfy the request for it, I believe.
And that's November 20th, 2010.
It is.
Here is Robert Andino.
Kevin, you had mentioned you had a connection with baseball. A good friend of mine from years ago that I played against, Dusty Baker.
In fact, when Dusty was working for ESPN, he came to our game in Connecticut, and you know, big football fan, big basketball fan. In fact, he'll tell you that he was better in basketball than baseball, and that I think that I know he had one scholarship to Santa Clara University, but he chose to play baseball.
He made the right choice.
But you kind of jinxed it, didn't you, Kevin? You went to see a game in Philadelphia that he was playing, and things didn't turn out well.
Well, I was telling you that they scored 10 runs in the first inning, and he went to pull the pitcher, and he looked at me like, you know, it's time for you to go home. I don't know if you should be here.
Dusty's been well respected in the baseball circles for years.
Well, he's a godfather to my middle daughter, and there's nobody better that I would want to have that than him. I mean, he's just a terrific human being.
Is he all right with the gifts for the goddaughter?
No, he's he's very generous.
Yeah. All right. Runner leads off first with 2 outs. You know what else? I mean, we talk about Army playing here, and the 4 games that you have scheduled here are great. You guys, your home field is one of the classic fields in all of sports, and if you don't get a chance to see Mikey Stadium, you should go. It's incredible.
Well, I know that Sports Illustrated said it's one of the best places to watch a football game, and Keith Jackson, big fan, and you know he's promoted that as, you know, if you're going to go to a college football game, you got to go to Mikey Stadium. So it's a wonderful experience because it's more than just a football game. And you know, you see the cadets and the parade and the whole bit. So I mean, it's a wonderful experience for everybody.
2-2. Well, Kenny and I will be going together, so you'll be able to get us some seats. This
absolutely. You know, you'll come up and share my box. I was telling Bob Aretta earlier, my sports information director, that I'm from the West Coast, and so I would hear you on sports radio. Now it's a pleasure for me to get to meet you. And then, I mean, I used to love to watch him play baseball. What a hitter this guy was.
This kid was great.
Yeah,
that was many moons ago.
A lot of his tapes are in black and white too. 3-2 is outside as Robert Andino walks. So runners on first and second with 2 outs. They're certainly making A.J. Burnett work. These have not been easy innings. They had 2 runners on in the first. They had 2 runners on in the second. 2 runners on in the third. Now 2 runners here. And Burnett's thrown 62 pitches in 3 2/3 innings. So it's 5-0 Yankees lead. So Burnett has certainly been bending but not breaking. And that's going to bring up Brian Roberts.
Yeah, but he brings up a tougher hitter in Roberts with a man up by walking the number 9 hitter Andino, who is not really an everyday player. This Brian Roberts is an all-star type player.
And the pitch. Now you have the Air Force game here in 2012, and one of the great traditions in American sports is Army-Navy. And 30 and 31, it was actually played here at Yankee Stadium. Any chance it might end up here again one day?
Well, you know, we just signed a long-term deal that we're bringing it back. We'll play 5 games in Philadelphia, 2 games in Baltimore, and 1 game in Washington, D.C., so it will have to be after that. I know there was an interest, but there were just not enough seats to have Army-Navy and make everything work.
So you need about 70,000 seats for that?
You know, because one thing is that we need 8,000 seats because we bring the midshipmen and the cadets, and so that, as I was told, eats into the profit margin.
Now, I went to the Army-Navy game, the most recent one down at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, and it is quite a sight to see the midshipmen and the cadets come into the stadium. It's just something that you've seen over the years on television, and just to see it live was very special.
Well, you know, there's a lot to say about all the rivalry games, but Army-Navy is special, and it's not just because I worked there, because before I worked there, that was part of the aura that made me want to come and be athletic director. So, you know, it's just a great experience, and that every American should be able to come and watch and be part of it.
2-1 count on Brian Roberts, first and second, and the pitch. Hot shot to Cano. It goes down to one knee and over to Teixeira, and that's going to do it. Kevin Anderson, congratulations on these series of games at the stadium. We look forward to seeing them.
Well,
thanks for coming
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be with you.
We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Kevin Thompson. Time for the answer to the New York State Smokers Quit Line quiz. The question was, it involved that man, Ken Singleton. Kenny and Mike Torres were traded by the Expos to the Orioles for which 3 players? Kenny, which 3 players?
Dave McNally, Rich Coggins, and Bill Kirkpatrick was a minor league pitcher.
A veritable steal for the Orioles. They got one of the greatest pinch hitters switch hitters of all time, and a pretty good pitcher too.
And well, the year that we went to Baltimore, Mike Torres won 20 games, and I hit 300.
It's a good trade.
Well, Earl Weaver said, how many trades you make? You get a 20-game winner and a 300 hitter in the same deal.
So Earl Weaver actually said something nice about people?
Well, yeah. That particular time he did. And the interesting thing, going the other way, Rich Coggins got sick and didn't play very often, and Dave McNally retired in June.
And isn't that the thing that started Dave McNally getting free agency going? Because he sat out to be...
He sat out. He went home. He kind of retired.
Right. But didn't hand in the paperwork.
No, he didn't hand in the paperwork. And John McHale actually showed up in Billings, Montana, where McNally lived, and wanted him to sign his contract. And McNally called Marvin Miller and said, should I do this? He said, don't sign it. You know, we're trying to get people out of their contracts last year and you're done. So McNally wouldn't sign. And eventually he was one of the guys who would have been a free agent if he continued his career, but he didn't want to play.
So you were actually involved in one of the seminal moments that changed the game of baseball.
Well, kind of, in a way. I'll tell you how that deal actually went down. There's the Swisher draws a walk.
We had Ted Turner colorize some footage of your career, Kenny.
Well, Ted Turner did. Thanks, Ted. Well, that's it. That's Eck. That's Ennis Eckersley.
Oh, that's yard.
And it is Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, which is, of course, gone by the wayside now. But that trade, I got a call about 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was Mike Torres on the phone. And Mike said, Kenny, I've just been traded. And I said, oh, Mike, that's really bad. I said, where are you going? He says, I'm going to the Baltimore Orioles. And I said, Mike, man, that's a great team. You could really enjoy yourself.
Gardner with a ground ball to Huff. There's one on the first, not in time, and it gets past Huff, but Gardner stays right there.
So Mike said, you don't understand. And I said, what do you mean? He says, you're going with me. And I said, oh, you're kidding. Nobody's called me. He said, when you hang up, the phone's going to ring within 5 minutes. It's going to be Jim Fanning, the GM of the Expos. Sure enough, I hang up. 5 minutes later, the phone rings. It's the GM of the Expos telling me I've been traded to Baltimore, a trade that I already knew about and was kind of happy about.
But let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
Why would they make a trade for a pitcher that was going to retire?
They weren't sure.
They didn't know?
They didn't know he was going to retire.
Well, they didn't do their due diligence, did
Well,
they?
you know, it took a long time before those two teams made another deal.
And the rest is history. World Championship in '83. Look at that batting average in '77, 328.3, third best in Orioles history. And in '79, you should have won the MVP. You finished second to Don Baylor, 35 homers and 111 runs batted in.
Well, that guy looks very young in that picture.
That one is line to right field. Markakis is back. He'll make the play. As Jeter is retired for the second out.
Well, the Yankees are thinking about a stolen base. They got the right man on in Brett Gardner. And with 2 outs, he is apt to go.
Clay Meredith just acquired, warming up in the bullpen. There goes. Throw to second. Got him. How about Greg Zahn, the veteran catcher, nailing Brett Gardner for the final out of the 4th inning. Good throw by Zahn. Wasn't a great jump, but Zahn made the quick throw and Dino made the quick tag, and that's going to do it. Here in the 4th, we go to the 5th. It's 5-0 Yankees. Well, thank you, Nancy. Obviously, we'll cover that more in the postgame as well, as the Red Sox add a first baseman. The Lexus scoreboard is 5-0, Yankees leading as we head to the fifth. Adam Jones will lead off against A.J. Burnett. There's a strike.
I remember early in the year talking to Terry Crowley about Adam Jones, how many home runs he would hit this year. I think last year hit 10. And he said he'd be happy if he hit 15 this year. Well, he's already at 13. And we're just beyond the halfway mark of the season. So he might double that number on his back. He might get to 20 this year.
Swing and a miss. Posada gets an angle, and there's one away.
And that's the pitch that Adam Jones had learned last year to lay off of, but not in this particular at bat. Slider bounced. Posada, it was almost as if they had called for it. Posada was ready for it in the dirt. Adam Jones swings and misses. Noche must have missed it by at least a foot. And wow. That was the one he was swinging at quite often early in last season, but then he and Terry Crowley kind of limited his at-bats in chasing pitches out of the zone. But well, yeah, it's 2 for 3. 5 strikeouts now for Burnett.
Pitch to Markakis is outside. Yankees looking for a sweep of the Orioles. Yankees looking for their 6th straight win. And the Yankees are in first place today, 1 game ahead of the Red Sox. Red Sox play the Rangers tonight in Texas. There's a ground ball to second base. Cano. 2 outs. It's amazing how quickly things could change in baseball. The Yankees had a 3-game deficit in the All-Star game. And since then, they've gained 4 games over 5. So it can happen quickly. The Red Sox have lost 4 out of 5, and the Yankees have won 5 in a row.
Oh, when the Yankees got the 3 games behind, they had been tied with the Red Sox in 3 games going into the All-Star break. They lost all 3 to Anaheim, and in the break they were 3 back, and now they have recouped and gone ahead.
There's Aubrey Huff. 0-1. Orioles are trying to avoid going 12 under 500 for the first time all year. And they've lost 9 straight games in the Bronx, dating back to last year. Grounded to first, gobbled up by Teixeira, steps on the bag, and a nice easy 1-2-3 inning on 8 pitches for A.J. Burnett. So the O's go down in order. We're halfway through. Yankees 5-0. second. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by J&R Music and Computer World and by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Johnny Damon takes a pitch in the dirt, 1-0. Burkett has settled down after a rough first inning. And you wonder if that was just jitters pitching here at Yankee Stadium for the first time. I was shocked before the game. I asked Kenny, who's a very stylish guy and whose wife is very stylish,
What happened?
if he knew what a Birkin bag was.
No.
That's the scoreboard 5-0, and you didn't.
What?
A Birkin bag.
I still don't know.
It's kind of a woman's pocketbook.
Well, how would I know that?
Well, you have a wife.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a ground ball at first. One away.
She would know.
And a Birkin bag costs like, I think, $10,000 to $15,000 for a bag.
And she better not know what.
But it's spelled differently than Jason Birkin's last name. I believe it's Birkin.
So where you been hanging out lately?
It's funny because I keep bothering my sister, what do you want for Christmas? And she said, well, I heard about these Birkin bags. I said, well, okay. So I checked it out. And I was willing to do it. And I said, Deb, you know it's $15,000. And she said, if you buy me that, I'll kill you. So that's how I know.
She'd love you. She loves you.
No, I know my sister. She would have thrown it away. That one has popped up. Felix PA is there. And you also have to wait, I'd say, 6 months to get it. Not only do you have to pay $15,000, but you have to wait 6 months to order it.
It's like getting a
It's like getting a
expensive
car.
Yeah. You don't even get to bring it home. What is this?
You better not use it.
Just, no way, Michael.
If Suzanne's listening right now, she's going to ask you for a Birkin bag this Christmas.
She's in Florida.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, and there's a soft ground ball to short, and Dino. And Birkin bags the Yankees 3 in a row, and he does it on just 6 pitches as he has really settled down. We played 5 innings at the stadium, and the Yankees lead the Orioles. Hey, it's break time. Time for a fresh brewed cup of coffee. At Yes, we get our Green Mountain K-Cup coffee system from the same people who bring us our office supplies. W.B. Mason. Who but? Well, we go to the 6th inning here at the stadium. And Ty Wigginton will lead off against A.J. Burnett. Yankees holding on to a 5-0 lead. Kenny, I did some research.
Tell me.
I wondered, that if the Yankees win this game, they'll be 20 games over 500. So I wondered the last time the Yankees were 20 games over 500 on July 22nd. Because it always seems that in the last couple of years, the Yankees have been playing some serious catch-up. Even when they did make the playoffs, they always seemed to have to make a run toward the end. The last time they were 20 games over on this date was in 2004. And they were 26 over. They were 60-34 on that day. So this is an early 20 games over if they can hold on to this 5-0 lead.
Well, we mentioned it following the break. The pitching has been excellent. A.J. Burnett has kept the Orioles off the board today on 4 hits going into the 6th inning. So he's continued the excellent pitching from the starters. The bullpen has been very good too. Today they got the timely hitting done in the 1st inning as the offense burst out with 4 runs. So when the ball club's playing like this, when you come to the ballpark as a team, you expect to win every single day. And when you do, you consider it a mistake, and then you come out and give the same effort the next day.
Chop left side. Going to be a tough play for Jeter. The long throw, and he gets Wigginton for the first down.
I haven't seen Jeter go to his left in this series. Now he has to go to his right. On the backhand, sets himself. And the throw is right there for Mark Teixeira. Playing a much better shortstop this year than last year. And I mentioned the fact that quadricep pull last year, there's no doubt in my mind that slowed him down. Not only offensively, but defensively.
Scott fouls it off.
I think Scott had high hopes of being more of an outfield presence this year for the Orioles, but he's kind of settled into the DH role.
High fly ball deep right, going back. Swisher, track, wall, leaps, and he makes the play. 2 away. Used up all of the ballpark, timed his leap, and hauled it in.
Well, Swish has made some good plays out there in deep right field, this time up against the wall. I don't know if that ball would have gotten out, but it's still a very good play by Nick Swisher. Michael called it, timed his leap perfectly. Up. Proves that you have to get up to get down, and he makes the play for out number 2 here in the 6th. Perfectly timed leap and brings it into the glove.
I don't think it goes out, but it hits the top of the wall.
Definitely.
Here's Zahn. Pitch outside, 1-0. Burnett's trying to complete at least 6 innings for the 14th time in his last 15 starts. So that's something that Burnett and Sabathia have both done as advertised, giving the Yankees length. And that saves the bullpen. That makes the bullpen more effective for the other 3 starters that might not be able to go that long. But Andy Pettitte did a good job the other day. He went 7 1/3.
Sabathia gets to start tomorrow night against the Oakland A's in the opening of what is now a 4-game series.
Game rained out earlier. Tomorrow is supposed to be an off day, so that will be played then.
Burnett trying to retire the 7th consecutive Baltimore batter.
Count 2-2. Zahn's hit the Yankees this year, hitting .364, 2 homers and 8 hits. So 25% of his hits. Rethink that. I misread the stat. 2 ribbies and 8 hits, not 2 home runs.
Okay. still,
he's giving too much credit.
Well, still, he's hit well against the Yankees.
Yeah, 364 is right. The 2-2. 3-2. Zahn is the nephew of Kenny's former teammate Rick Dempsey, who was the World Series MVP.
Yeah, he was.
For the Orioles. Now he broadcasts for them.
Yeah, he does the pre and post game show, so he'll be on Masson after this game.
And Zahn works along.
Masson, Mid-Atlantic Sports Network. That's the network that the Orioles own. Both they and the Nationals share that network.
Here's Felix P.A. That one is driven to center field. Gardner is there, and that'll do it. Here in the sixth, no runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left. There could have been some runs, though, but a nice play by Nick Swisher takes an extra base hit. Time for another look at today's Toyota Text Ball. Once again, the question, with the trade deadline 10 days away, what move, if any, should the Yankees make? Brian Cashman holds his breath and finds out what the results are. 58% think that the Yankees should acquire a starter. 21% say make no move at all. And that goes back to the adage, Kenny, you never have enough pitching.
Yeah, that's true. You know, with the particularly to the injury to Chin-Ming Wang. Although Maitre did a good job in last night's first outing for the Yankee uniform. I talked to Dave Island, and Island said he did exactly what I expected him to do. You know, throw the sinker. He's a little nervous in the first inning. Ball came up. I also talked to Jorge Posada. Said ball came up a little bit in the first inning. Also came up a little bit when he might have gotten a little tired, and the Yankees got him out of the game. But he did exactly what they wanted him to do. And Dave Island, there's Sergio Mitre. Dave Island said that what Mitre did and what he liked, that after each inning he came in and talked to Island, and they talked about the upcoming hitters from Baltimore the next inning. So he was really into the game plan and followed it very well. And picked up a win. Every time Burkett's hit that fastball to Matsui, it's been on the outside corner, and You almost get the feeling if he doesn't quite get it out there, Matsui was ready in the opening game of the series. See the target's low and away. If it gets towards the middle, that was a good pitch.
One away. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Audi dealers. Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Here's Posada. So Bergen has to feel a lot better about himself. That one rough inning, then he gave up the home run to Posada in the third. But otherwise, he's done a nice job. Pulled the string on that, and Posada way out in front.
You know, the feeling is that either Bergen or Rich Hill, who started last night, their days in a rotation might be numbered unless they come up big time and make some big starts, because Chris Tillman is the next young, well, supposedly star that's going to come up and pitch for the Orioles. He's down at AAA. He's pitched very well, and the feeling is that the Orioles did not want Tillman to come and pitch at Yankee Stadium or Fenway Park, but he could be on the near horizon after that. The Orioles go to Boston after they finish up here this afternoon.
Kenny, I got to tell you, you would know better than me, but watching both of them, Bergen's better than Hill.
Well, he's more consistent with his pitches. Hill last night was quite erratic. I mean, the Yankees got 8 walks, 4 of them scored. Bergen's walked 1. He's not a strikeout type pitcher. He only has 1 strikeout when he got Matsui.
But this guy seems like he has a little bit more of an array of pitches. With Rich Hill, he was throwing breaking ball after breaking ball. After a while, the Yankees were sitting on breaking balls.
Yeah, particularly you think of A-Rod's at bat, and he watched everybody else get some, and he finally got one, and he got a base hit, drove in 2 runs. There's Rich Hill. And then reading online this morning, even Rich Hill wasn't sure if he was going to stay in the rotation.
Looks like a broken bat for Posada. Hey, this week marks the Yankees' first ever Hope Week, a unique week-long community initiative to help others persevere and excel. Each day this week, Yankee players are reaching out to inspirational individuals, families, and organizations. Daily celebrations are culminating at Yankee Stadium, and outreach is often taking place away from the ballpark. For more information on Hope Week, please visit Yankees.com. Get involved. Give hope. You can't believe what they're doing tomorrow. And it's just unbelievable. There are people in this country, Kenny, that are allergic to the sun. And that if they experience any kind of sunlight, they could die at a very early age. And what the Yankees are doing is they're having them here after the night game tomorrow, and they're going to be a big carnival, and they're going to camp out on the field after the game. And the Yankees will be there, Yankee families as well, to give these kids that are afflicted with this very rare disease an opportunity to enjoy themselves here at the ballpark.
And fantastic.
And they'll be able to stay here till 4 in the morning when the sun's about to come up, and then they will leave. But just an obscure thing. But the Yankees, these people go to camp that's underfunded, so the Yankees reached out and said, let's help these people have one really great day.
It's not only that tomorrow night, but all week long, what's been going on here at the stadium.
Something every single day. And the Yankees have worked really hard on this, and it's a nice thing to reach out to people that are not undergoing the best of times in their lives. The 1-0. And there's a strike, 1-1. And every player on this Yankee team on the 25-man roster is participating in at least one event. And some of them have been in a lot of the events. That one is blooped into a right center field. It'll dunk in front of Adam Jones for base hit. So Robinson Cano with another multi-hit game, as he is 2 for 3. And that's his 38th multi-hit game of the year.
He's kind of sneaking up on the league leaders here. And one thing he's doing, he's hitting a lot better at home. This ball is not his A swing, but he fights it off and drills it in the center, drops it in there for a base hit. He came in today hitting .348 in July, and he is 2 for 3 this afternoon, so he's up over .350 for this month. What'd you say, Michael? He's a better hitter in the second half of his career. He's living up to that.
Last year he got off to such a dreadful start that he was playing catch-up the whole time. This year he had a very good April. So he might be able to put together a very good season. Here's Nick Swisher. 2-run single in the first. He walked in the fourth. He's had an eventful day. Dropped the ball in right field, then made an outstanding catch, running catch to end that very same inning. And taking away an extra base hit. I believe it was from Ty Wigginton. Yes, it was.
He made,
the third inning.
Made another good play and had a 2-run single.
High fly ball, left center. Adam Jones on the run, and he drifts over to make the play for the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We played 6 at Yankee Stadium. Yankees 5 and the Orioles nothing.
Next Wednesday night, get your appetite ready as celebrity chef Emeril Lagasse sits down with Michael Caine on an all-new Center Stage. Emeril discusses his new book and new show and brings a surprise dish for Michael. Bam! It's an all-new Center Stage. Next Wednesday night at 11, only on Yes.
He actually got me, without knowing it, to eat mayonnaise.
Oh. You know, you've mentioned ketchup a couple of times today. Yankees playing catch-up ball.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't going to make anything that had ketchup in it.
No, he made me catch mayo. There's Robert Andino against A.J. Burnett. Pitch outside, 1-0. There's a strike along with Ken Singleton. I'm Michael Caine. You're watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yes Network. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. Top of the 7th inning. Yankees lead 5-0. That one is chopped off the plate. And it's going to be a base hit. So a Baltimore chop helps the Baltimore Orioles.
We're going to have to explain this one. Years ago, when Wee Willie Keeler and the Baltimore Orioles were in the International League, and before, it was back in the late 1800s, they used to pack the front of the dirt in front of home plate really hard, and their hitters practiced chopping down on the ball. The ball would do exactly what happened with Andino, and it became known as the Baltimore chop. Nothing to do with the Emeril Lagasse or anything like that, but that's the way they manicured their home field.
Brian Roberts slashes one foul.
And that particular team actually moved up to New York, if I'm not mistaken, and became the Highlanders, which eventually became the Yankees. And then going the other way, Babe Ruth was born in Baltimore and then eventually went to Boston, of course, to the Yankees.
Driven out to left center field. Gardner got a good jump, and he runs it down for the first out.
Now, Brian Roberts is up there with a 7-game hitting streak on the line, and he is 0 for 4 this afternoon.
Here's Adam Jones. And there's a strike.
I wouldn't say that Burnett has been cruising this afternoon. He has given up 5 hits and he's walked 3. But each time he seems to get in a bit of trouble, he can reach back a little extra like that and pour something by somebody.
A 95-mile-an-hour fastball here in the 7th inning.
That is some natural gas right there.
95 miles an hour on his 96th pitch of the day.
Kind of get the feeling this might be his last inning.
Fouled away. We told you against the Orioles, 10 starts lifetime, 8-1. And in his last 6 starts coming into this game, 4-1 with a 1.82. And he also has a statistical anomaly. His ERA at home and on the road is exactly the same, 3.81. He's 3-1 at home and 5-3 on the road.
Well, it's actually changed today.
Now it's lower. AJ looking to pick up his 9th win of the year.
Yeah, he has been over the last, what you say, month, 6 weeks. He's been the Yankees' best starter.
And last year when he had that good season with the Blue Jays, he was lights out in the second half. The 0-2. Grounded fair inside third and down the left field line. It'll go into the corner, and Dino will go to third. He'll stop right there as Adam Jones picks up his 3rd hit of the day, a double to left field.
See what happens here. It's kind of a breaking ball that hangs inside, and Adam Jones would ground it down to third baseline. He got a good barrel of the bat on it, and it's going to be a double. Just over the back, third base umpire Jim Wolf with the call.
It almost looked like it took that first hop in foul territory and then came back. Had to take another look, but it definitely was a fair ball. And that's the Orioles' first extra base hit. Here's Markakis. And there are some that are new to the game that you might not realize. You can hit a foul ball, and if for some reason there's English on it and it goes back fair, let's see if this actually hit foul. Well, like it got the chalk and then landed more firmly fair. But you can hit something foul before the bag, and then if it bounces back into fair territory, it's a fair ball.
I've seen him hit pebbles.
Yeah. High fly ball. This should get a run in. Gardner drifts over. He'll make the catch. Tagging is Andino. He'll score. Moving to third is Jones. It's a sac fly for Markakis. The Orioles are on the board. Yankees lead 5-1. Hey, tomorrow on Yes, the Yankees start a 4-game series against the Oakland Athletics. Coverage will start at 6 with batting practice today presented by Audi, and then the pregame. It's the A's, it's the Yankees, and it all starts tomorrow night at 6 only on Yes. So A.J. Burnett loses his shutout, but he still has a 5-1 lead. And a runner on third base with 2 outs as Dave Island comes out the top. Now Burnett's trying to complete 7 innings for the 5th time in his last 9 starts. And Phil Hughes, who was warming yesterday but didn't come in, warming again today, and he should pitch the 8th if it works out the way Joe Girardi's planning.
Burnett has now thrown 100 pitches.
Aubrey Huff fouls it behind Posada. Count 0-1. A little bit of a talk between Brian O'Nora and A.J. Burnett. You know, A.J. Burnett's been the culprit behind all the pie throwing. And I guess it would be very difficult for him to get a pie in the face unless he pitches a complete game and he's around at the end and Kim Jones gets to interview him on the field. But if he's not going to go 9, it's hard for him to get hit with the pie.
Yeah, it's a little difficult to get the pitchers if you throw a complete game, because they usually head back to the clubhouse, start icing their arms and doing their post-game thing.
The 0-1.
Nice breaking ball. Backdoor breaking ball. Boom, to the corner. What would Emerald say? Bam, to the corner. Watch the target. Ball right in it. So Michael, can make you a nice dish, do you?
Gotta watch the show, Kenny.
When is the game now?
Wednesday, after the game.
I'll be in Florida. We'll be in Florida.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, and the ball goes all the way to the backstop. Scoring is Jones, and Huff is going to reach. So a strikeout and a wild pitch, and now it's 5-2. And A.J. Burnett visibly upset, so is Posada. So Huff does the wrong thing, and it works out for him.
It's a sharp breaking ball. He's already struck out on that once today, but Posada can't keep it in front of him. And Huff hustling down the line. And Adam Jones hustling down the line. One going to first, one coming in from third. And now Baltimore scored a couple of runs here in the 7th inning. That's the 14th wild pitch of the year for A.J. Burnett, who leads the league. And it gives you an example of what his stuff is like.
And Wigginton pops it up. Here comes Alex Rodriguez, and foul territory makes the play. And that's going to do it here in the 7th. But the Orioles creep closer. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees lead the Orioles 5-2. But let's stay right here at the stadium to honor America in the Bronx.
Serving our country at home and around the globe. Now please join Kate Smith as she sings God Bless America.
Newman, and we will hear from you again on the WB Mason postgame show. 5-2 Yankees lead, so 2 sketchy runs scored by the Orioles, and the game has the feel to it as if the Yankees are blowing out the Orioles, but that has not been the case. It's time now for the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T, your world delivered, as the Orioles take out Jason Birkin, and they will go to Clay Meredith.
Meredith, who they just acquired from San Diego in a deal for infielder Oscar Salazar. And Meredith, that's what he did with the San Diego Padres. 47 hits in 36 and 2/3 innings. Watch this delivery. Kind of reminiscent of Chad Bradford. Maybe not quite as low, but he's used that delivery, which should make it pretty difficult on the right-handed hitters.
Clay Meredith actually came out of the Red Sox organization, a bad trade for them, and actually did okay in San Diego. Now he is here with the O's, and the first pitch to Gardner is a strike. That's a big-time fan.
2 fans in 1 seat. You don't see that very often.
Doesn't this game have the feel as if the Yankees are up 11-2?
Yeah, but maybe because they scored so quickly in the ball game and it got that big lead. But since 4 runs in the first, they've only added 1 off of Birkin, who settled down. So it's up to, this is the time of game where you need those tack-on runs.
And it hit Gardner. That's not the right thing to do to start off an inning, as Brett Gardner gets clipped. And there's 1 on with nobody out.
Now, unless you really hurt him. You hit him in the leg, and you don't want Gardner on base. This is might start one of those tack-on innings for the Yankees. Looked like he hit him just above the shoe top there on the left leg.
Here's Derek Jeter. He swung at the first pitch in every single at bat. He's put it in play in all 3 of his at bats. A double, a fly ball to center, fly ball to right.
Look down.
And he's looking to bunt, and he has to skip out of the way.
A lot of moving parts to the delivery by Clay Meredith.
Runner goes. The throw to second. Not in time. I'll tell you what, Greg Zahn's throwing well to second base. He got Gardner in the 4th and made a strong throw there, but Gardner's speed beat it out.
Yeah, but the good base stealers, they get right back up on that horse, and they're going again. And you can see Gardner makes it this time, holds on to the bag for all he's worth with the left hand. Good pitch for Zahn to throw on, and Gardner is, that's the guy you don't want to put on. You don't want to hit him. You don't want to let him get a hit. You don't want to walk him. Things can happen.
There's a strike to Jeter. Swing and a miss, and Jeter down on strikes. Hey fans, today and throughout the Yankee season on Yes, we're allowing you to vote along with the 2 of us here in booth for the Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772. Today's candidates are number 1, A.J. Burnett, number 2, Nick Swisher, number 3, Jorge Posada, number 4, Robinson Cano. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. You realize, Kenny, with the Yankees in first place in the East, the Yankees now have the best record in the American League, and they have the 2nd best record in all of Major League Baseball. Only the Dodgers have a better record at 60-34. There's a base hit through the left side. Gardner rounds 3rd. Here he comes, and they hold him up as PA came up throwing. Robbie Thompson held up Gardner.
Well, respect for PA's arm, and number 2, he was playing very shallow in left field. And getting him to third base with 1 out, figuring you got Teixeira coming up next. He wasn't quite to third when PA came up with the throw. So first and third, 1 out, your RBI men coming up. The ball was hit pretty hard. Robbie Thompson made the decision. He feels if anybody's going to tack on, it's going to be Mark Teixeira right here in this at-bat.
This is where the sidewinders get hurt when they have to face the opposite batter, because you get too long a look at the pitch.
You are so right, Michael.
There's a strike. You know, the perfect pitch for a righty to a lefty is a changeup. It's hard to throw a changeup side on. So that kind of takes that away from you as well. But you have to have something.
You're basically a 2-pitch pitcher. You're basically a fastball and a breaking ball. And with that type of delivery, the fastball is usually going to sink.
The 0-2 hit sharply right at Huff, and he steps on the bag for the double play. Huff caught it in the air. Damon was obviously too far off the bag, and Clay Meredith got just what he needed as the Yankees could not cash in. No runs a hit and 1 man left. We go to the 8th, 5-2 Yanks. That was part of the 2 weeks off. It's time now to take a look at the Land Rover drive of the game.
Well, let's go back. It was Jorge Posada at the plate in the 3rd inning. 2 outs, nobody on, and 1 gone. Jorge with a line drive into the Yankee bullpen, and that's our Land Rover drive of the game, courtesy of Jorge Posada.
Well, that'll do it for A.J. Burnett. And Jorge Posada will prepare to catch a new pitcher. It's time for Phil Hughes. And you see what Hughes has done. Now, those are his numbers starting and relieving. His numbers relieving are off the chart. We could throw superlatives out there. I don't know if they do this kid justice the way he's pitched out of the bullpen.
Well, he has jumped into that 8th inning role with both feet and really taken to it. and has shut down offenses one after the other.
And pitch to Luke Scott as a strike. He's got a swagger about him out of the bullpen. He believes, he feels good out there. And Mariano Rivera was talking about Hughes, and he said he thinks that part of the reason that Hughes has been successful is that he has accepted the role. He said sometimes guys get sent to the bullpen and they want to be starters and they really don't accept it fully. He said Phil Hughes has accepted it because he knows if he doesn't, he's going to go down in the minor leagues to start. So he likes the fact that he's up here, wants to stay here, and has embraced the role and made it his own.
Yeah, the deal money's a lot better in the big leagues.
And the 0-2 upstairs. As a reliever, Kenny, Hughes has a 0.84 ERA. 21 and a third innings pitched, 11 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 walks, and 27 strikeouts. That's in 15 games. And the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Got him with a curveball there.
Was that 28 strikeouts?
Yep. Hey, after the final out, you have to stick around for the W.B. Mason postgame. Nancy Newman's going to be back in the studio with analysis and highlights from this series finale against the O's, and then she'll also take a look around the rest of baseball. And then Kimberly Jones is going to talk to everybody that's pertinent in the clubhouse, and then she'll tell you what's going on. It's the W.B. Mason postgame. It's only on Yes.
Here's a look at that strikeout of Luke Scott on a sharp breaking ball.
There's another breaking ball for a strike.
Now, the other night when he pitched against the Tigers and he struck out 6 in 2 innings, it was a blazing fastball that got the job done. 9 of his last 10 outs have been strikeouts.
And now he's got a good breaking ball today. That has been missing his last couple of starts. His fastball's been so good, but he has an outstanding curveball early today. The Yankees, by the way, still consider him a starter. And that's the way they portray him in the future. So, although he's pitching beautifully in the bullpen, out of a need, they needed an 8th inning guy. Bruni's been hurt, and that has been ineffective since coming up the DL. But the future of Phil Hughes, they still think, is as a starter. The 1-2. Just missed.
96 with that last one. Starting to heat up a bit.
The 2-2. Count is full of 3-2. And Felix PA is on deck. And the payoff. Zahn fouls it away. Has not allowed a run in his last 17 innings. That's over 14 games.
Talk about how hitters and pitchers both study video. As George Serrell, the Oriole closer, is up in their bullpen. But the video that's been going on around the league of Hughes of late, hitters haven't liked what they have seen. Just blowing hitters away.
Grounded up the middle and threw for a base hit. So Greg Zahn with his second hit of the afternoon. Ever been stuck away from home and missed the game? Well, not anymore, now that Yankee fans can watch live Yes Network games on their PCs and laptops. If you're an Optimum Online and IOTV customer, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and to sign up for your subscription now. CC looks good on a computer screen. And he will pitch tomorrow right here at the stadium against the A's. That game will be on Yes, and our coverage starts at 6.
So he'll either be on your TV or your computer screen sometime, doing what he does. It'd be a sort of like a post-birthday celebration for CC. His first start after turning 29 years old.
There's the strike. Guys in the scoreboard crew trying to be funny. The batter's name is Felix P.A., but it's spelled pi. And they have on the scoreboard pi equals 3.14. So they're not only trying to be funny, but they're obviously very, very intelligent. Mike Bonner and his crew. There's a strike.
If you move that decimal point over in front of the 3,
a nice batting average.
PA would take it. Pi or PA.
And the 0-2. Fouled away. Along with Ken Singleton, I'm Michael Kay, and you are watching Yankees baseball right here on the Yankee Entertainment and Sports Network. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. We truly appreciate you giving us your time. And we are in the top of the 8th inning with the Yankees leading the Orioles 5-2 as the Yankees are looking for their 6th straight victory. Zahn leads off first. This should be 2. There's 1, and there's 2. A 6-6-3 double play, and another scoreless inning for filthy Phil Hughes. Jeter thought about flipping it to Cano, said, "Nah, I'll take it myself," and fires a strike to Teixeira. It's time to take a look at the plays of the game, brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
Well, the plays of the game. Nick Swisher involved on this one. A leaping catch up against the wall. And the appreciation from A.J. Burnett. Once again, Pink Floyd up against the wall for Nick Swisher. Those are our Geico plays of the game. Swisher with 11.
George Sherrill will try to hold it right here at 5-2. He's the Orioles closer. This is obviously not a save situation, but coming out of the break, the Orioles have not won a lot of games. They've won just one. So they haven't had save situations, and George Sherrill comes in to get some work and keep the Yankees right here. As the Yankees will send up 4, 5, and 6 in their order, starting with Alex Rodriguez, and those are the numbers on Sherrill. A lot of people are rumored to really want Sherrill on their team. Left-handed reliever. The Dodgers supposedly scouting the Orioles, and the Orioles are scouting the Dodgers and trying to find if there's a right fit there. Left-handed relievers are very valuable commodities. But Sherrill has said that he wants to stay with Baltimore. Line drive, base hit to left field off the bat of A-Rod. He's 2 for 4.
Well, an opportunity to move on to a team that has a chance to get to the postseason might change his mind about staying in Baltimore. There's a pitch to A-Rod over the end of third. He's up to it. Rakes it into left field for a base hit. 2 for 4. Single in the first inning with an RBI, and now a single here in the 8th.
So here's Matsui. Hideki today is 0 for 3, but he did score a run in the first inning after reaching on a fielder's choice. Mariano Rivera and Brian Bruni. They'll bring Bruni in if the Yankees get another run, and it's not a save situation. And a strike. Pretty good outing, Kenny, by A.J. Burnett, and again he gives the Yankees a great opportunity to win a game.
Once again, an outstanding performance, a chance for him to pick up his 9th win of the year against just 4 losses.
Runner goes, check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. And a stolen base for Alex Rodriguez.
He got such a jump, there was not even a throw. Went on first movement, guess right. Went in standing up with his 5th steal of the year.
Without being caught. That's a weak hack there by Matsui as he goes down on strikes and does not get A-Rod over. Hey fans, celebrate the inaugural season of Yankee Stadium this Friday, July 24th, when the Yankees take on the A's. The first 18,000 fans 21 and older are going to receive an inaugural season bottle opener key ring, courtesy of Budweiser. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
Yeah, one thing that makes Sherrill difficult to hit, and you'll notice it when he sets up on the mound. He sets up almost with his back to the hitter, and then he turns even more before delivering the ball. And it's not that he's overpowering, it's just that he's very deceptive. It's hard for hitters to pick up the ball. Yeah, that last fastball on the scoreboard was 89 miles an hour. Baltimore got Sherrill in the same deal, which delivered them Adam Jones. And their soon-to-be pitcher, Chris Tillman.
Good trade.
Yeah, it was. Eric Bedard going to Seattle.
And only pitched half a season last year, injured. And that's the type of trade that you want to make if you're going to deal a good pitcher. That's the type of trade that the Blue Jays are trying to make with Halladay. Get people, multiple people that can fill multiple holes. And you want some minor leaguers that are major league ready, and you'd like a major leaguer that's young that you have under your control. That's the type of deal every team wants to make. A-Rod goes, and that one is driven into left center field. No one's getting that. It splits the outfielders, and it rolls to the wall. Rodriguez scores. Posada goes to second with an RBI double, and the Yankees lead 6-2.
4 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2
Jorge with his second extra base hit of the day delivers Alex Rodriguez a booming double to the gap in left center field. Jorge's been a better average hitter from the right-hand side of the plate this year. His home run power has primarily come from the left side. That's the way it's gone today. His only at bat right-handed is an RBI double. Earlier in the game, he had a home run batting left-handed. With that run scoring, Mariano took a seat.
One day I would like to have synced up cameras on the ball landing on the outfield when that scores the fourth run and Mariano actually stopping throwing and sitting down. I'm sure that as it touches the blade of grass, Mariano sits down.
Or he's getting set to deliver the ball, sees the hit.
Base hit down. Check swing. Swing and a miss. 2-2. And by the way, A-Rod scores that run. He's 2 for 4, and A-Rod has been a day player this year. In the day, coming into today, 312, 10 homers in 21 games. At nighttime, 220, 9 homers in 42 games.
You're saying 10 of his 19
yes.
in the daytime?
Yes. He's a day tripper. As Cano goes down on strikes.
What was that? Yes? That was quite emphatic.
Yes. He also enjoys the photosynthesis that we talked about in the first inning. Some players actually like to play at night. Paul O'Neill tells us he did because he thinks the lighting is better. They're going to intentionally walk Nick Swisher, and that will have the lefty Sherrill pitch to the lefty Gardner.
And that will bring out the boos.
See, it's that kind of information that Joe Girardi should have, and I'm sure he does. So he's got to rest A-Rod once a week. It should be a night game.
It should
never be a day game.
Or DH him or something.
That's right. Hey, this Sunday, don't miss an all-new episode of the Emmy-winning Yankees on Deck for a look at Jorge Posado's annual baseball fundraiser in Puerto Rico. Plus, get a behind-the-scenes look at how Yes broadcasts these games. I'd like to see that. It's an all-new Yankees on Deck Sunday morning at 11:30, only on Yes.
We're getting closer to all access Yes.
They're setting up cameras in my home now.
You got to be kidding.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be just a whole channel on how I prepare for the broadcast. Totally making that up.
Let's hope.
And the pitch to Gardner is a strike. Strike 2.
Even more difficult for a left-handed batter. And with Sherrill, the way he sets up, it's almost as if he's looks like he's ready to deliver a pickoff throw to first base. Turns his back. Sherrill did not close when he was pitching for Seattle. He was a setup man for J.J. Plutz. And of course, Plutz came over to the Mets, bothered by arm trouble. Sherrill traded to Baltimore. Was thrust into the closer's role last year. Did a pretty good job. Made the All-Star team. Pitched at the old Yankee Stadium in the All-Star game.
It'll be a tough play with the speedy Gardner. And he's safe. He beat it out. Surprised that Roberts didn't try to tag Swisher on the way by, but Gardner picks up an infield single to load the bases.
Once again, with Sherrill delivering the ball, his left-handed pitch going to fall off towards third base. He can't recover to make the play. And you're right, it might have been easier to flip the ball to second base instead of getting Gardner, who now is 1 for 3 on the afternoon because his speed is one of the best of the league going down the line.
So big spot for Jeter here to really blow it open. He's 1 for 4. He opened the game with a double in the bottom of the first inning. Opened the Yankees' end of the game, and then came around to score. Yankees had a 4-run first inning. They have not looked back. So now bases loaded here in the 8th. And the count 1-0. 6-11-1 for the Yankees. 2-7-0 for the Orioles as the Yankees are looking for their 6th straight win.
If they win today, it'll be their 3rd sweep in their last 4 series.
Minnesota, Detroit, and it could be Baltimore. 1-0. 1-1, and they were swept in the other series by the Angels. Yankees today 7 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Off speed pitch, 1-2. And the pitch inside, 2-2. The Yankees scored 4 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 here in the 8th, and that gives them their 6 runs. And the Orioles scored 2 in the 7th off of A.J. Burnett, and that is the only runs the Orioles have plated. The 2-2. He struck him out as Jeter goes down on a couple of off-speed pitches from George Sherrill. Yankees get an insurance run on 3 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. The Orioles coming up in the 9th. Time to announce the Chevy Player of the Game is voted on by you, the fans, and the two of us here in the booth.
A.J. Burnett was the starter this afternoon. Struck out the first man he faced in the ballgame. Was Brian Roberts. Nice moving fastball strikes him out. He struck out 6. Total in 7 innings, allowing a couple runs on 6 hits, 3 walks, and A.J. Burnett has a chance to be the winner today, and he's our Chevy Player of the Game.
Melky Cabrera moves to left field, taking over for Johnny Damon. Brian Bruni comes on. He has not pitched since July 10th. He's not pitched in 12 days. Let's see if the rest has been good for him as he starts Andino off with a strike. Now the Yankees have been playing so well up until this point. Neither Bruni nor Melanson nor Robertson has appeared in a game in the second half. So they have not taxed their bullpen at all. Now his last appearance we mentioned was July 10th at Anaheim. An inning and a third, 1 hit, 2 runs, a home run, a walk, and 1 strikeout. And there he strikes out Robert Andino. 1 away here in the 9th. Stick around after the final out for the WB Mason postgame. Nancy Newman's back in the studio with analysis and highlights from this game and the entire series, and then a look around the rest of baseball. Plus, Kimberly Jones will talk to the team in the clubhouse. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Here's Brian Roberts. He's 0 for 4, so his 7-game hitting streak on the line. And there's a strike.
One thing about Bruni, he's in Anaheim. He did throw many strikes, and some of the ones he did got hit. Eric Ibar hit a 2-run homer off him. Look out. And everybody ducking on that one. But he's still got that live arm. That last fastball measured at 95 miles an hour on its way back to the screen.
And the count 1-2. Pitch upstairs, 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
And the Yankees would like Bruni to get back on track. Now he's had a couple of stints on the DL this year that have set him back.
Well, the combination that they have working now with Hughes, Koch, and Aceves, and then how Mariano's been automatic, 23 saves in a row. If they could get Bruni back to what Bruni was, that's one of the deeper bullpens that you're going to see in baseball.
Yeah, then you don't have to really worry that much about back-to-back days, because Bruni could be just as effective in any one of those roles.
And he strikes out Brian Roberts for the second out of the 9th inning.
You know, if you've used Mariano 3 days in a row, maybe you can push either Bruni or Phil Hughes to the 9th inning one particular day. There's a strikeout, swing and a miss. He's made short work of the first 2 hitters, Andino and now Roberts.
So the Orioles are down to their final out. Here's Adam Jones. Orioles are 2-24 on the road against the American League East in their last 26 games, and they're 1-13 this year. That one is drilled deep to left field. Going back, Cabrera on the track, looking up. See ya! A solo home run for Adam Jones. And now the Yankees lead 6-3. 14th home run for Adam Jones, a 4-hit day for Jones.
He'd been watching the previous hitters, and Bruni got that fastball right down the middle. And Adam Jones knew it as soon as he hit it. That's his 14th home run of the year. That's 6-7 rows back.
There's Nick Markakis. And there's a strike. Crowd of 47,134 watched Jones hit his 14th home run. And they're hoping to watch the Yankees win their 6th straight, but they're 1 out away. Burnett went 7. He'll use a scoreless 8th, and now Bruni. That one is drilled deep to right field. Going back, Swisher, looking up, see ya! A home run for Nick Markakis, and the Yankees now lead 6-4. Back-to-back home runs against Brian Bruni. And the Orioles have cut it to a 2-run deficit.
Now Markakis with his 2nd run batted into the ball game and his 11th home run of the year. Again, almost right down the middle. And these 2 balls have been hit well.
And Joe Girardi is going to take the ball from Brian Bruni. So it all looks so good for Bruni. A strikeout of Andino, a strikeout of Roberts, and a home run by Jones, and a home run by Markakis. And Girardi's going to have to go to Mariano Rivera. It is a save situation because the tying run is on deck. So Bruni hears some boos, but then they turn to cheers as they see Mariano descend the bullpen steps. Stick around. Wanted to see out of Brian Bruni. They need to straighten Bruni out. Obviously, he's not the same pitcher as he gives up back-to-back home runs. Now they have to go to Mariano.
Well, he was throwing hard enough to strike out the first 2 hitters, but I think the location on better fastball hitters in Jones and Markakis was lacking, and the result with back-to-back homers. And now Mariano comes on in a save situation. The numbers are exemplary, and he's just been Mo.
27 saves, 23 in a row. And as Kenny said, the numbers are what the numbers are. Had a little bit of a rough patch early, but obviously is back to being the old Mariano Rivera. So he needs to get 1 out. And Mo has saved 6 of the Yankees' last 7 wins. Good numbers for Huff against Rivera. 8 for 19. And there's the strike. (6-4) Yankees lead, trying to hold on. The 0-1. This with the backdoor cover and count 1-1. And the pitch. And 1 strike away. Two outs, a 1-2 count on Huff. Yankees looking for 1 more out. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 1 out, 1 strike away from 6 in a row. And Rivera deals. Huff spoils it, out of play. Dave Tremblay has seen his team lose the first 2 games of this series. Joe Girardi's team has won the first 5 games of the second half. And now they've won 6. As Mariano strikes out Huff, and the Yankees win this one 6-4. So Rivera has to come in to get the final out.